Hey, welcome to Making Life More Better podcast, where we are empowering Black men who grew up without a father to live a godly, purpose-driven life through faith, healing, and sharing our stories. I started this podcast to help one man, and this is what happened. I didn't realize there were so many Black men that were suffering in silence the way that I was and how I was suffering in silence. From the first episode, when I shared part of my story, so many people were surprised that that was something that I was going through, that was something that I was dealing with, even my family members. And this is episode 52. So I have been doing it for exactly 1 year, 52 weeks, an episode every week. And I only wanted to help one Black man, one Black boy. And through that, through me sharing my story, through me having guests to come on and share their stories in regards to the role their father didn't play in their life. I had a couple of guests that their father was involved in their lives, but theirs were trying to be a father to their son. So there's so many men, so many Black men, surprisingly to me, that was dealing with the same thing, that was going through the same thing. And because I shared my story, because I opened up, because I was transparent, because I made a commitment to just helping that one Black man, so many more came forward. So many more said that, you know what, I'm suffering in silence. And it has been people, it have been Black men of all ages in their 60s, their 70s, younger ones, 20s. There were some that said that they wanted to be on the podcast, and for whatever reason, they decided that they couldn't do it. I would always ask, are you sure this is what you want to do? Or do you feel like you're at a place that you can talk about it? For me, this has been therapy for me. It helps me when I share my story, when I come on here and I share my emotions, or I share how things are going with me at this stage of my life. And that is still, it's going to always be there. It's going to always be there. But I'm in such a better place now than I was a couple of years ago. And just being able to hear other people's stories, when they share their stories, when they share their experiences, their emotion. And it's hard I can't speak for every man. I can speak for myself. And from talking to other men, talking to other Black men, it's a difficult thing to do. It's a difficult thing to talk about. You don't know where your emotions are going to go when you start talking. You don't know if anger is going to resurface. You don't know if, especially if you haven't healed or starting your process of healing, you don't know if anger is going to surface. You don't know if you're going to cry. I mean, some years ago, I went through all of these emotions, different things that I was doing in my life. Some years ago, I was competing in Toastmasters, and I competed in the speech contest. And one of my speeches was about my father not being involved in my life. And I'm practicing the speech, and I got to a point of talking about it in my speech that I couldn't pull it back. I couldn't hold it, and I just lost it because my emotions were still not at a place where I can control them. I could talk about it and then reel it back in. That was not the case. But over this past year of doing this podcast, I've learned a lot. I learned so much. I learned that I'm not the only person. When I said I was doing this podcast just to help one black man or one black boy, that was it. If me sharing my story was going to be able to help that one person, it was well worth it. But it wasn't just black men. I would get comments about, why is it just for black men? I'm a black man. I relate to black men. That's what I know. It's not that I'm excluding any other race or anybody else, any other gender. That's not the case. I've had women, I've had girls that would send me comments, send me messages, send me DMs, saying that they were going through the same thing. I know your podcast is for black men, but I'm going through the same thing. I know those feelings. I know those emotions that you're talking about and the things that you have gone through and what you're dealing with because your father was not involved in your life. And for them to open up and to share with me their stories, that meant a lot to me. And this is episode 52, and it went by so fast. I'm looking forward to year number 2. God blesses me with more days here on earth. I'm looking forward to year 2, looking forward to stepping up the podcast and making it even so much better. Even, I know y'all tired of looking at this just plain white wall. And I have a reason for that. The editing, I have a reason for that. I know me. I know myself. I didn't want anything to stop me from sharing my stories. I didn't want to get caught up in spending so much time editing and then I get frustrated and I put it down and then I don't even do it. So that's why I didn't do any editing, because I didn't want anything to get in the way of me getting my story out, getting my message out, and having guests to come on and getting their stories and their messages out, so that it can prayerfully benefit and help someone else. So coming up in year 2, there are going to be some things different. Putting it on other platforms and not just on YouTube, having it on the podcast and platform. So there's so much more I want to do with the podcast, digging more into like solutions and researching and doing all those things for the podcast, still on top of sharing my stories and bringing other people on that want to share their story. If they're open up to it, having them to come on and share their stories. And when I was thinking about the podcast, before I started with it tonight for this episode, I ran across a scripture, and it's Psalms 27 and verse 10. And it says, "When my father and my mother forsake me, then the Lord will take care of me." When your father and your mother or your mother forsake you, the Lord will take care of you. When your father or your mother forsake you, the Lord will take care of you. There was time I didn't want to hear scripture because my flesh wanted what it wanted. My flesh wanted to hear from my father. My flesh wanted to talk to my father. And this scripture just gives me even more confirmation and comfort that God was with me the entire time. When I was going through all of the emotions, when I was drinking and trying different things and doing different things, trying to feel whatever was going on with me that I didn't know about at the time, what I was dealing with. And none of that stuff worked. But I know that he was with me the entire time. And it is because of him. It is because of God. It is because of my relationship with Jesus Christ that I am where I am right now, and I can talk about it. I can share my story with others. And I am so looking forward to doing even more with the podcast. I am doing some other things in my life so I can spend more time dedicated to the podcast. It's not just a podcast, it's a ministry to me. It's a ministry for me. I want it to be a ministry for others that were forsaken by their father, and let them know that God is there for you. He's there for you. And if you only watch one episode, or if you have watched all 52 episodes, I want to say thank you. Thank you for taking the time out of your schedule watching. And for those of you that have been sharing, I know one brother, he was actually a guest on here. My brother, Officer Kelly is what I call him. He calls me Brother Minister. He shares it on his Facebook all the time. And I want to tell you, brother, I really thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for being a guest on here, for all the other ones that have been a guest on here as well. My cousin, Doran, she shares it all the time. And because they're sharing it, other people get to see it that I don't know, but they know. So if you've only watched one episode, if you watched all 52, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. And I look forward to doing God Spares My Life, working on and doing this second year, start on the second year. But I want you to know something. This podcast was never about me talking into a microphone. It has always been about reaching the man who needed to hear that he isn't alone. And for years, I felt like I was alone. Also, that he can heal. That his past does not have to determine his future. And this last one. And God still has a purpose for your life. And I say that in the introduction. Hey, welcome to Making Life More Better podcast, where we are empowering Black men who grew up without a father to live a godly, purpose-driven life through faith, healing, and sharing our stories. Brother, you are here for a reason. God has purpose for your life. Psalms 27:10, I'll read it to you again. It says, when my father and my mother forsake me, then the Lord will take care of me. When your father or your mother has forsaken you, the Lord will take care of you. And that's what he's been doing. He has been taking care of you. He's going to continue taking care of you. I will continue sharing. I will continue uplifting, inspiring, sharing my story and the story of so many other people, because there's so many that are hurt. There's so many that's suffering. I'm in the school system, and a lot of the kids, especially the boys, Black males that I talk to or deal with, that's one of the questions I'll ask them. Who do you live with? I live with my mom. That's it. What about who else they do? My grandma. What about your father? What about your dad? And I ain't got no dad, or he locked up. I see myself in those kids at that age, when I was that age. So it's so much hurt from situations like mine. And I didn't realize or think that so many other men were going through the same thing and felt like they were suffering in silence. I had the oldest person was this young lady reached out to me, and her father had watched the podcast. She saw it and she shared it with her father. And at 95 years old, he told his daughter that he was still suffering in silence from his father not being involved in his life. And he never talked about it. He never shared it. But because me sharing my story, I don't know, it's like gave people permission to share he can open up and talk about it and say that he's been suffering in silence. That's what it was all about for me. That one man that I wanted to help, that one man that I wanted to touch, that one man I wanted him to understand that he can heal from this, that his past is not going to determine or dictate his future. And God still has purpose He still has purpose for your life. I don't care how old you are. God still has purpose for your life. All right. Thank you so much for this first year. And I'm looking forward to many more episodes, to many more years of sharing, meeting you, growing together, healing together, learning our purpose together, the purpose that God has for us. All right, so take care. God bless. If this by chance help you, please share it. If you're not a subscriber of the channel, subscribe to the channel. And let's get ready for year 2. Let's get ready for episode 53. After this one, we're just getting started. This is the first year, the anniversary year. We done got newlywed year, I meant to say. So we got that under our belt. I'm looking forward to doing so much more with the podcast, with this ministry. And it is my prayer that through this podcast, that God will be able to heal and bless Black men, to bless people through this podcast. All right, so take care. God bless. And I will, if God's will, I will check you out on the next episode. Have a good one. Good night.